Why people believe California's Winchester Mystery House is haunted. In the heart of San Jose, California, stands a sprawling Victorian mansion unlike any other in the United States, the Winchester Mystery House. For over a century, it has captivated imaginations with its bizarre design and chilling legends. With staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into walls, and hidden passageways concealed behind elegant facades, the home has long fueled rumors of paranormal activity. But why do so many people believe California's Winchester Mystery House is haunted? The origins of this architectural enigma trace back to Sarah Winchester, a grieving widow who inherited vast wealth after the death of her husband, William Wirt Winchester of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Following the tragic loss of both her infant daughter and husband, Sarah relocated to California. There, she embarked on a never-ending construction project that would consume the rest of her life. For 38 years, the house was continuously built, rebuilt, and expanded, often without a clear blueprint or traditional architectural logic. Many believe Sarah Winchester was haunted not just by sorrow, but by guilt, and possibly by spirits. According to long-standing legend, she was advised by a medium to build a house for the souls of those killed by Winchester rifles. The sprawling mansion, therefore, was intended as both a refuge and a prison for restless spirits. Since 1923, guests from around the world have paid us a visit to try and answer the many whys associated with Sarah Winchester and her mysterious home, says Walter Magnuson, executive director of the Winchester Mystery House. Most leave inspired, and some depart with more questions than answers. The house's status as one of the most iconic haunted places in California continues to grow. It has been the subject of documentaries, ghost investigations, and public fascination, drawing visitors who seek to unravel its secrets or simply experience its surreal atmosphere. Whether you view it as a tribute to grief, a product of superstition, or an architectural oddity, one fact remains. The legend of the Winchester Mystery House continues to thrive, and the question lingers, is it truly haunted? Sarah Winchester's story, the woman behind California's Winchester Mystery House haunted legacy. In the years following the Civil War, the Winchester rifle became one of the most iconic weapons of the American frontier. Marketed as the gun that won the West, it quickly evolved into a potent symbol of manifest destiny and an instrument of conquest. The immense fortune generated by the success of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company eventually passed into the hands of Sarah Lockwood Pardee Winchester, the widow of William Wirt Winchester. But with that fortune came profound tragedy. In 1866, Sarah and William's infant daughter, Annie, died of marasmus. Just 15 years later, William succumbed to tuberculosis, leaving Sarah a widow at the age of 41. She inherited not only substantial wealth, including a 50% stake in the company, but also the burden of grief and public scrutiny. Despite decades of speculation and myth, many historians today argue that Sarah Winchester was far more than the reclusive, haunted figure often portrayed in legend. Far from the spectral figure enveloped in superstition, Sarah Winchester emerges from historical records as a complex, resilient and intelligent woman, explains Karen Stolzno, a linguist and author of Haunting America. She was an independently wealthy woman with an interest in architecture and a desire for privacy. Following the deaths of her family, Sarah left her native New Haven, Connecticut, and journeyed westward to California. There, in San Jose, she purchased an unfinished farmhouse and began what would become the most infamous building project in American folklore, the Winchester Mystery House. While some interpret her unending renovations as the product of a woman haunted either by spirits or sorrow, others see it as an expression of creativity, autonomy, and defiance in a male-dominated era. Regardless of interpretation, her legacy remains inseparably tied to one of the most discussed and visited paranormal landmarks in the United States. Today, her story continues to fuel the enduring mystery. Why do so many believe California's Winchester Mystery House is haunted? A house without a blueprint. The architecture behind California's Winchester Mystery House haunted reputation. In 1884, Sarah Winchester acquired an unfinished 8-room farmhouse in California's Santa Clara Valley. Over the next 4 decades, Until her death in 1922, she oversaw an unprecedented construction project. Without formal blueprints or a master architectural plan, the modest home transformed into an expansive and bewildering 24,000 square foot estate. The final result featured 160 rooms, 10,000 windows, over 2,000 doors, and an array of perplexing architectural details that continue to astonish visitors. Staircases that ascend into ceilings, doors that open to sheer drops, windows that overlook other rooms. The home's unconventional design fed rumors that California's Winchester Mystery House was haunted, and that Sarah was building not for herself, but for the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. During Sarah Winchester's lifetime, stories circulated that she was constructing the house to appease or confuse vengeful ghosts. These accounts gave rise to one of the most enduring legends in American paranormal lore. Even today, this narrative shapes how the public perceives the house, casting it as not only a physical labyrinth, but a spiritual one. Psychologists, however, point to cognitive phenomena that may explain why visitors perceive ghostly activity within the mansion. The disorienting design can heighten one's senses and increase susceptibility to pareidolia, the tendency to see meaningful patterns in random stimuli, or confirmation bias, where individuals interpret ambiguous occurrences as proof of existing beliefs. These effects contribute to the belief that California's Winchester Mystery House is haunted, especially in dim lighting and under the weight of ghost stories told in hushed tones. Yet not all scholars agree with the haunted interpretation. The house was never designed to confuse spirits, but to accommodate her evolving ideas, her health needs, and her aesthetic tastes, says Karen Stolzno, linguist and author of Haunting America. Its odd features are mostly the result of earthquake damage, remodeling interruptions, or later additions made after her death to enhance the mystery. Ultimately, the Winchester Mystery House remains an architectural enigma, one that defies easy explanation and continues to captivate those intrigued by the intersection of grief, genius, and ghost stories. House draws interest amid spiritualism craze. How cultural trends shaped California's Winchester Mystery House haunted image. The construction of the Winchester Mystery House did not occur in isolation. It was shaped, in part, by the broader cultural landscape of its time. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, America witnessed a surge of interest in spiritualism, a popular movement centered on the belief that the living could communicate with the dead. Seances, spirit photography, and mediumship became particularly fashionable among the upper class, especially those mourning loved ones lost during the Civil War and subsequent epidemics. Within this cultural context, it is perhaps unsurprising that the Winchester Mystery House became associated with supernatural beliefs. Many assumed that Sarah Winchester herself had embraced spiritualist practices and that her unusual building habits were guided by attempts to ward off spirits or communicate with them. However, historical evidence offers a more nuanced view. Sarah's reputed interest in spiritualism and seances is unsubstantiated by direct evidence, and is likely a conflation with cultural trends of the spiritualism era and a case of mistaken identity with other local figures, explains Karen Stolzno, linguist and author of Haunting America. Her veiling and seclusion were likely due to rheumatoid arthritis and concerns about her appearance, not otherworldly fears. Despite the lack of documented spiritualist activity on Sarah's part, the narrative persisted, amplified by the media. In the years following her death in 1922, yellow journalism, a style of sensationalist reporting, played a significant role in transforming public perception. Newspapers embellished stories and leaned into speculation, publishing eye-catching headlines that dubbed the estate a spirit house. By the time California's Winchester Mystery House opened to the public as a tourist attraction in the 1920s, its identity was already deeply intertwined with ghost stories. Visitors were drawn not only by its architectural quirks, but by the hope of experiencing something paranormal. The legend, once seeded by rumor, had firmly taken root in the national imagination, and continues to shape how the property is understood today. From headlines to hauntings, the enduring legend of California's Winchester Mystery House haunted reputation. The legends surrounding the Winchester Mystery House didn't arise overnight. One of the earliest public suggestions of something unusual appeared in an 1895 article from the San Jose Evening News, titled, "A Woman Who Thinks She Will Die When Her House is Built." This piece planted the initial seeds of superstition, casting Sarah Winchester as a mysterious figure obsessed with continuous construction to evade death. That portrayal would become the foundation for decades of ghost stories. This article helped shape a narrative that has only grown more elaborate over time, notes Karen Stolzno, author of Haunting America. Much of what we believe today about the house's haunted nature can be traced back to early sensational reporting like this. In the present day, the mythos surrounding California's Winchester Mystery House haunted identity is sustained by popular culture, the tourism industry, and the booming interest in paranormal media. Daily ghost tours offer guests a chance to walk through shadowy corridors, hear chilling tales of phantom footsteps, inexplicable cold spots, and the occasional sighting of Sarah Winchester herself. I have experienced windows slamming shut during meetings as if they were exclamation points on the topic being discussed, doors slowly opening down the hall as I approached, and voices in an adjacent room when I believed I was the only person on site, says Walter Magnuson, executive director of the Winchester Mystery House. You never feel alone at Winchester Mystery House. Whether driven by grief, misunderstood genius, or the echoes of a bygone era, the legend of Sarah Winchester and her sprawling mansion remains one of America's most enduring ghost stories. The truth may never be fully known, but the fascination endures. Enjoy uncovering the hidden history behind America's most intriguing landmarks? Subscribe to History Love for deep dives into the stories that shaped our past and continue to haunt our present. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you believe the Winchester Mystery House holds more secrets yet to be revealed.